Hello, welcome again. So today I will discuss on Intel Corporation stocks. So what's going on in the price actions and what is the expectation in 2025 from this stock and 2025 and onwards. So Intel Corporation is a technology stock, right? So it is a tech heavy stock, and these kinds of stocks heavily depend upon the level of innovation and what is the cutting edge, like comparing with the competitors, right? So you understand that. So today it is after the close of 610 6 today is July 9th. It is July 9th, you see, today is July 9th. So after the close of July 9th, it is $20.48. So whether it's in a good shape or not, so let us see. So in one day situation we see that it is a good raise, like 42 cents raise, and the price is now $20.48, which is 2.09% higher than yesterday, so it's good. What about 5 days? So in the 5 day span it was an increase from in June 3rd it was $19.69. Now it is $20.48, so it is an increase, and it is a good increase, like 4% increase, right? So this is also good. What about 1 month? So it in 1 month span it went down from $21.42. It's not a heavy decrease, but it's a decrease nevertheless. And in 6 month span it was a sideways movement. You see, sideways. It did not go up any big time increase, or it was not a big time decrease at all. So it is like a sideways movement. The price is remaining in the same position, almost the same position after the 6 months. So what about 1 year? In 1 year span it was not good, it was bad. It was from $30.91 to $20.48. So it is a big decrease in the last year. So this is not good. What about 5 years? So in 5 years span it is a heavy decrease, like 5 years ago it was $59.62. Now it is only $20.48. So in 5 years what happened? Every year it had been giving out dividends, but how much? Like yearly maybe 50 cents or around 50 cents every year. So it's not a big deal of money every year paid off in dividends. So it is a big loss for the investors uh, who had been holding this stock. Okay, so this is not a good sign for Intel if you consider 5 year span. So because in 5 years it is down by around $39. It's a massive decrease in price. So this is a very bad situation. Is in a bad shape. Intel is in bad shape. Uh, Considering investment perspective, like who are holding it for a longer time. So now let us study an article and see what's going on in Intel, so that so that you can decide whether you should keep hold on to it, or you should offload the stock so that you can switch to another stock. So if we see if we read a recent article, it was 12 hours ago's article. So let us read a little bit about it so that we can decide what's going on, okay? Whether we should keep it or not. Intel plunges 35% in the past year. Should you dump the stock? So this is a question mark. Whether we should keep it or leave it for another investment or a replacement stock, so that we can make good money. Okay, so here Intel Corporation INTC has plunged 35.1% over the past year against the industry's growth of 12.3%, lagging. So industry grew by 12.3% while Intel plunged by 35.1%, which is really a bad thing. So lagging its peers, Advanced Micro Devices Inc., AMD, and NVIDIA Corporation NVDA. While NVIDIA stock is up by 16.4%, Advanced Micro has declined 27.5%. It is also in declining shape, like AMD. AMD has declined by 27.5% over that period, but it for Intel it was the worst case. It was 35.1% decrease, which is really bad. Much of Intel's underperformance is attributable to the severe financial difficulties and operational challenges as it plays a catch-up game with its rivals. So it was in a bad situation. It had faced financial difficulties and operational challenges which are like affecting its business. So Intel's law of the blocks, while most of the competitors evolved with the changing demand patterns, Intel fell behind others as it hung on to its legacy products. For example, despite making significant inroads in AI chips, Intel lagged NVIDIA on the innovation front, with the latter's H100 and Blackwell graphics processing units being runaway successes. This offered a competitive advantage to NVIDIA, with leading technology companies reportedly piling up NVIDIA's GPUs to build clusters of computers for their AI work. Moreover, Intel has been facing challenges due to the disruptive rise over the top service providers in this dynamic industry. Price sensitive competition for customer retention in the core business is expected to intensify in the coming days. Aggressive competition is likely to limit the ability to attract and retain customers and affect operating and financial results. So, for Intel, the situation is not as rosy as some of the investors are thinking. So, and also, bitter US-China trade ties continue to hurt in INTC. So, what's going on in China versus US battle is also important. These two giant countries' trade battle is of course a matter. An accelerated ramp up of AI PCs has significantly affected Intel's short-term margins as it shifted production to its high-volume facility in Ireland, where wafer costs are typically higher. Margins were also adversely impacted by higher charges related to non-core businesses, charges associated with unused capacity, and an unfavorable product mix. Competitive pricing pressure from rivals has further dented its profitability. So, actually, considering all the factors, it is really looking bad for Intel. Intel is in like severe disadvantage if you consider margin and also competition and also innovation front. So all the fronts are indicating that Intel's business is slowing down. It's not gonna be like very much smooth for this business because competitors are getting cutting edges, and also trade relations with China is negatively affecting, and also the cost of production. So these kinds of factors are negatively impacting Intel, and I believe that Intel will be a stock which pays a very little financial benefit to the investors. You cannot like expect to make big percentage returns year after year if you hold Intel. So I would think that you can safely convert to other stocks if you think reasonable, because I'm not going to give you any financial advice, but what I think is like Intel is not going to be as rosy as you are thinking if you're holding it. Okay, so that is what my opinion is, but it is nevertheless not the investment advice, because this stock market, anything can happen, so you should decide after careful analysis by yourself. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.